Everybody, we are live. We are live. Welcome into Tara's Detox. All right, today's subject, the topic for today, we are talking about HSV, cell waste, and gout. Okay, because there is a connection. There is a connection. So I have some notes. I took down my notes so that I don't get on here and be scatterbrained. So I'm gonna read directly from the notes that I took as I was creating everything, lining everything up for this live stream. So we're going to connect the dots here. We've been connecting the dots with herpes and other various diseases because herpes is so prevalent. I mean, over 90% of the population, 80 to 90% of the population has HSV. There's two types of HSV, herpes simplex 1, herpes simplex 2, but there's 8 different types of herpes viruses that affect human beings. Okay, that's really important. There's 8 different kinds. All right, so we're going to talk about gout, herpes, and the connection between the two, cellular waste. This is all tied in together. So I'm diving a little bit deeper than the stuff that we see, like the surface level stuff that we see on the internet. That's always like, well, cellular waste this, cellular waste that. And it's like, do any of us really know, like, this whole deal with cellular waste? What is really happening there? What does that really mean? Okay, duh, cell waste. But where's the waste coming from? Where is it really coming from? And what is the process that the body goes through to handle this cellular waste so that we can know, once we understand that, then we can do a better job of making sure that we're not accumulating excess cellular waste. And it's diet, but it's not like you have to cut everything good out of your life in order to do this. You don't have to go vegan, and there's still lots of vegans who are dealing with cellular waste. They're still dealing with gout and different issues, and they don't even eat red meat. So what else is going on? Why are people dealing with gout and they have one of the 8 herpes viruses? Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this. Let me see. Let me put right here. Our class is about to start in 40 minutes. So register for tonight's class. You're going to go to the link in my bio and click start here. So click the link and then click start here. And that website is going to be where you're going to register for class tonight. So let me pin this. All right, there we go. If you're on YouTube, the link is inside of the description of this video. So look for like a little arrow pointing down somewhere on there, and then you'll find the link that should say register for tonight's class. All right, so let's go. Herpes contributes to gout. Okay. Turn my brightness up. Okay, so gout is so this is not a website. This is literally my notes. Okay, so I'm not reading from somebody's website. I probably should just take my notes and I should publish my notes online. I'll probably just publish my notes online in my blog. Okay, so then I'll be that website that you're reading my notes on. All right, so basically gout is a metabolic syndrome along with diabetes and cardiovascular diseases, which is brought on by the accumulation of visceral fat, which is something that we have been talking about a lot lately, visceral fat. So metabolic syndromes are usually characterized by abdominal obesity. So you don't have to be abdominally obese, meaning that your stomach is obese, because there's a lot of people who actually work out, they go to the gym, and they're still dealing with metabolic issues like heart disease, and they're still dealing with high blood pressure, which is a metabolic syndrome. So it's the overaccumulation of the visceral fat, which is the intra-abdominal fat that is behind the muscle. So you can have a six-pack and still have an overaccumulation of visceral fat, which means that your six-pack may not be as sucked in as somebody else's six-pack. Or like if you see how people age, like once you get to about 30, your body starts to spread. So everybody knows that, your body starts to spread, meaning that you get wider, but you don't necessarily get wider this way so much. Sometimes you might get a little wider there, but you don't accumulate like hanging over belly fat, but your body just gets wider as you get older. So that's actually the expansion of visceral fat that's behind the muscle cavity, that's intra-abdominal, meaning that it's all throughout the tissues, the abdominal tissues. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily make you look fat. whereas subcutaneous fat does. All right, so let's see where I left off. All right, so it's characterized by sometimes abdominal obesity, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, abnormal lipids, and all of this contributes to elevated uric acid levels in the body. Okay, so if you're dealing with diabetes, you're dealing with the overaccumulation of visceral fat, you're dealing with high blood pressure, all of those contribute to elevated uric acid levels, not just eating red meat. Okay, we want to break down the barriers and open up some more information about what's causing the things that we're going through. Okay. All right. So gout occurs when uric acid levels in the body are consistently high. Uric acid crystals can form and accumulate in the joints, which leads to gout, a painful arthritis that comes with sudden, severe joint inflammation and often affects the big toe, ankle, and other joints. Okay, so if we're going to talk about uric acid levels, we first need to talk about purine. So what is purine? Purine is the precursor to uric acid. It is a byproduct of cellular metabolism. So purines are organic compounds that are essential for various cellular functions, including the synthesis of DNA and RNA. They are mainly demonized in red meat, okay? Today, I'm going to expose other major key factors to the buildup of uric acid other than red meat, and these may be just important, if not more, okay? So purines are the byproduct or the useless material that's left over after the cells carry out their various functions. So as the cells are living, moving about, like, doing, not moving about, but doing what they got to do. Well, some of the cells do move about, but as the cells are replicating, they're carrying out their basic functions. As they carry out those functions, they are releasing the waste product of those functions. Kind of like when we eat, we poop. Okay, so you'll see a lot of people comparing these purines to poop, but eventually it does become urine. All right, so let's break down this process because we need to understand what's going on so that we don't get duped by the propaganda. Okay, so like this information is mainly because so many people come to me like they already know a whole bunch of stuff. There's like different healers and just different people who already know about a lot of veganism. They know about a lot of herbalism, and they're still suffering in certain areas. So this right here is just opening up the other reasons why people experience issues with uric acid buildup other than red meat. If you don't eat red meat, but you're still having cellular waste, you're still having buildup of uric acid, and you're still dealing with things like arthritis, even though you're vegan or you consider your diet to not be so bad. Okay. All right, so let's talk about these purines. So when purines are broken down, whether the purines are coming from your food, because purines come from food and drinks, like some unhealthy stuff like beer and different beverages like that, different foods like red meat and stuff. So purines can come from that, or purines can come from cellular turnover. So this purine cellular waste is released into the bloodstream and circulates through the body. All right, so when your cells are carrying out their processes, they release the purine goes into the bloodstream, and then it circulates around your body. All right, then that purine ends up in your liver. So when the purine enters the liver, that is when it is converted into uric acid. Okay, so that's when uric acid comes into play. The liver is responsible for converting the purine into uric acid. All right, so once it's processed into uric acid, the liver then sends it back into the bloodstream, where it then goes into the kidneys to begin filtration. So as your kidneys are filtering out the blood to take out the uric acid and then send it, process it as urine to go into the bladder. Okay, so that is where uric acid is actually coming from. We are not glazing over, we're not skipping out on the details, okay? So I knew that the uric acid had something to do with the liver and the kidneys, but now we have a much deeper understanding of what is actually happening with this uric acid and the kidneys. So let me do a quick recap. So the connection between HSV and gout is what we're talking about, and I'm explaining what the heck is uric acid, where is it coming from, what is it actually doing in the body, where is it coming from to end up in the body to cause all of these issues that people are experiencing. Okay, so basically Uric acid comes from your foods. It can come from red meat. It can come from beer and various foods. And then your body also naturally produces purines. Okay, uric acid is the precursor to uric acid is purines. So when your cells do what they're doing, they process all of the different things they have to process, and what's left over, the byproduct, is purine. Purines are then sent to your blood, to the bloodstream. The bloodstream circulates it around the body and ends up in the liver. The liver processes the purines into uric acid, sends it back to the bloodstream, then it goes into the kidneys. Now, once it's in the kidneys, okay, once it's in the kidneys, then the kidneys is going to process it into urine. All right. Now let's talk about when the issue with this whole process kicks in. All right, so this is a natural, fine-tuned, automated process that your body carries out with no issues. But what happens when your body is producing too many purines? Because purines come from cellular turnover. Okay, it comes from cellular turnover too. So as cells are living out its life cycle, the cells are dying like they're supposed to, and then they're splitting, reforming, new cells are growing, they're splitting apart and all that kind of stuff. So that through the life cycle of the cell, that is also producing purines. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the various health conditions that lead to cellular turnover and cause an overproduction of purines in the body. Because there's various things that's going on in the body that can lead to you overproducing purines. So the following conditions have been linked to increased cell death and cellular turnover, which causes an overproduction of uric acid and lead to gout. Okay, what would cause urine to have a really strong smell? Okay, let me get to this right here and then we'll get over to that. So the following conditions have been holding it for one thing. If you're holding it, that's one thing. Also like medications you're taking and stuff. So the following conditions have been linked to increased cell death, cellular turnover, which causes the overproduction of uric acid and leads to gout. So we have tuberculosis, we have viral hepatitis, we have HIV/AIDS, we have the flu, we have Ebola, we have malaria, we have pneumonia, cystic lupus, viral myocarditis, West Nile, and yellow fever. So some of these are kind of like a little bit Ebola, we don't really deal with that too much in the United States very much. Malaria was not something we really deal with in the United States very much. But guess what else is leading to this overproduction of uric acid and this increased cellular turnover? It's actually going to be 5 of the 8 herpes viruses that affect human beings. So first we have HSV1 and 2, then we have Epstein-Barr, then we have varicella zoster, and then we have cytomegalovirus. So these are other viruses that causes rapid turnover. Okay, so this is because these viruses cause rapid cell death and cell turnover, causing the cell to produce a lot more cellular waste than the body is designed to process. So if you're someone who has herpes in particular, you need to sequester the virus. You need to get it under control. So are you somebody that's vegan and sick, and you're having back issues, joint issues, arthritis, gut issues, dealing with high blood pressure, kidney issues, heart problems? All of these things are linked together. Everything is linked together. So there's a specific way that you need to eat if you have a herpes virus and you have health issues. Now, you don't have to give up everything, but you need to detox to reduce a significant amount of the population that you have inside of your body. And that will help to give you relief damn near immediately. So within the first week, we have people who are producing normal blood pressures. We have people who are getting off their inhalers. We have people whose skin is clearing up. We got people that's doing a lot of things within only 1 week. And that's actually on the free detox. That's on my free detox where people are getting results. And that's like the warm-up detox for the actual process. So in the warm-up, the 7-day sugar fast, we're actually going to make this an event, and we're going to do the sugar fast together because I want to help really do a hands-on mini boot camp. I don't know what I would call it because it's only going to be 5 days. We're going to get together for 5 days. We may do 6 days, like a day of prep, and then we do 5 days of us all doing the sugar fast together. And then you guys can message me as you're doing the sugar fast, and you know, post your sugar fast pictures and all of that good stuff so I can see what you're doing and get you ready to get on to the full detox. Or if you want to just stick with sugar fasting, because sugar fasting is really reducing like the back pain and it's reducing a lot of the things that you're going through. If you're not ready to get onto the full detox yet, this is something you can start working on. So you don't have to remove everything out of your life immediately, but you can start making changes to eating the right foods, eating the high lysine, low arginine foods. That's really going to help you to, you know, reduce that viral load in your body more so than the sugar. Reducing the sugar is very important because the sugar is feeding the visceral fat. And if you're someone who already has like a visceral fat accumulation, which is like a buildup of the adipose tissue, which is hormonal, it releases all these hormones in your body that affects your epithelial lining, which leads to the high blood pressure and it leads to insulin resistance and things like that. So if you're having issues with that, plus you're also having high cellular turnover, then that is what's leading to like the whole issue with over accumulation of uric acid levels in your body, not just red meat. Okay, not just red meat. So like I have a family member who deals with gout off and on, but she does not eat a lot of red meat. So it's not just the red meat, it's other things, other factors that's happening inside her body. And one of the herpes viruses that causes it is varicella zoster, which is like extremely widespread. Another one is cytomegalovirus, which is extremely widespread. And most of the time it does not cause people issues. You might get chicken pox when you're a kid. And then as you go up, you might get shingles. You may or may not get shingles. You might not ever have to experience one of those shingle rashes ever in your life. But if you are diagnosed with, or you know, had chicken pox when you was a little kid, or you've been diagnosed with one of these herpes viruses, I'm talking about all 8. I'm not talking about just herpes simplex, because simplex is only 1 and 2. That's simplex is only 1 and 2. There's 8 in total that affect human beings, not 9, not 6. I've seen various things on the internet from people just saying stuff, but there's actually truly 8. And you can go and look it up for yourself. Look it up so that you're not just taking our word for it. Like, educate yourself as we're giving you things that you can go and look up. Like, we're giving you the breadcrumbs for you to go and look that stuff up on your own so that you can dig even deeper into it, so you don't have to just take my word for it. So I forgot what I was saying, but make sure you register for class because it's about to start in 30 minutes, 25 minutes. We're going to be starting class. And I really look forward to you guys doing this sugar fast with me. It's going to be coming up in the next couple months. And I'm going to put out a link for people to register for it and start, you know, sending you some information to get you prepared to do this quick sugar fast with me, which is not, it's not going to be a big deal, but I'm going to give you a lot of education while we're sugar fasting so that you, by the time you're done with this, like, you'll be your own, like, little Dr. Quinn for your family too. Okay. I'm going to teach y'all a lot of home remedies, like stuff my kids know automatically to do. Like, if my kids start feeling like they're getting sick, if they're getting like a sore throat or anything like that, my children automatically know what to do. So then all you got to do is just provide the tools, and then your children will learn how to take care of themselves a lot better than, I mean, when I was working, when I used to work still, I had coworkers, like grown men, who would call out because they were sick, call off from work because they were sick, and like curl up like a baby because they're sick. And to me, I used to be laughing in my head because I'm like, that's too sad. All you need to go do is just go drink you some doggone lemon water to soothe your throat right quick. You're like about to fall on the floor because of your throat and stuff. Just get you some lemon water. My children, they go and they cut them up some lemons. Like, it was last week, whatever's going around was trying to get my household too. So my kids went cut them up some lemons, and you know what else did they do? I think they were just on the lemons real hard. They also brush their teeth with hydrogen peroxide and baking soda right away. As soon as their throat started itching, like, Mom, my throat. I'm like, you already know what to do. Baking soda and peroxide, let's go. So they brush their teeth with the baking soda and peroxide, and then they go and they drink like a little teaspoon of the peroxide, and that eats up everything in their throat. They hate it, but then they're good to go after that because the infection starts in the throat and in the nasal passages. So if you can kill it while it's right here, it doesn't have to go throughout your whole body, right? So there's things that you can do to reduce like your symptoms before it all the way takes over. So my household didn't end up getting sick because the kids knew what to do. Ain't that cool? The kids knew what to do. And they don't take any like cold medicine, or they don't take anything like that. If they wake up in the morning with a fever, then I grab the beef broth, and I have the beef broth with the I cut up onions. I leave the onions. I have like the onion skins. I don't throw them out, but I cut up the onions. I take and smash the garlic, and I just throw the whole clove in the soup. And I put like my different seasonings in there, and I boil that, and they drink that onion soup, and knocks right out. Knocks right out. So there's real simple things that you can do for your family, so that you don't have to like run and jump straight to, you know, the medicine cabinet for the most simple of things. And there's really simple things that you can do to start to correct your health. Like I think that it's been blown out of proportion. Like my detox has kind of been blown out of proportion through the Q&A days, and people would ask like some of the craziest questions, and it would be like so super detailed. And then the detox started to seem like it was like super detailed and super involved, but it's really simple. It's not a lot to do, and it's not super involved. Like it's regular stuff that you would just fit into your regular everyday life. You know, I got food addicts who's getting through the detox. So it's really just like, once you're ready to just do it, it's as simple as you're brushing your teeth anyway. You just have to brush your teeth with something different. You're going to eat anyways. You're just going to eat this instead of that. You're going to take a bath anyways. You're just going to take your bath in this instead of that. And you're going to take these supplements, which is only like, it's one bag. It's not like multiple different supplements where you're going to have like a pill box of supplements. It's not even that serious. And then you don't have to worry about all of those little silly details that people ask a lot in the live streams, because none of that stuff don't even matter. You got to eat your food, and you got to monitor your detox symptoms, and that's it. You just need to know what to do when you get a headache, or when you get a tummy ache, or, you know, things like that, which you got to tweak as far as your foods in those areas. And that's pretty much it. The detox is simple, but a lot of people do overcomplicate things through overthinking and overdoing it. Like somebody recently asked me, can I wear my jewelry? Can I wear my gold jewelry? Like that has nothing to do with detoxing at all. And we don't want to get that detailed, and it doesn't matter. Like those little minute details don't matter at all. So it's not as controlling as people think that it is. So we got a class that's about to start in 20 minutes. So jump into class if you're ready to go ahead and, you know, start learning about how to detox. If you want to actually start to work with me, I bring everybody, before you even purchase anything from the website, come to the class first so you can learn more about the process, what we're doing. You can learn more about like what I'm doing with you guys, and then book your free call with me before you buy anything. Okay? Just book your free call, and then we can make sure that we go over, you know, things properly. So I got to change up my descriptions on my calls, because at one point I got so many people, like my whole day was filled with people. Instead of booking consultations, like they were booking the free call, and then they had a ton of questions as they were like detoxing. So I changed my descriptions, like, well, if you're detoxing, if you're doing this and if you're doing that, then don't book the free call. And I'm like, well, yeah, no, I'm going to change those descriptions, because I do want to talk to you about what health conditions you're experiencing, so that I can let you know, like, depending on your diet, your lifestyle, and your mix of health conditions, I'll let you know if this is a good route for you to go, or if like there's different tweaks or different things, other suggestions that I would prefer to give you until you're ready for this process or whatnot. Because I got some people that try to jump into it like totally without my help, without contacting or anything, without asking questions, and they have health stuff going on, and they just want to do like this generic thing. But keep in mind, I did this on one-on-one for years. Everything was one-on-one, and then I changed it over to the group once I had burnt out. So now I have the hybrid, where it's one-on-one and group at the same time. So we have one-on-one private phone calls between me and the client by ourselves every single week, which that right there I think is significant, because that was kind of like what I sacrificed in moving over to the group. So we didn't have as many one-on-ones, so now it's a lot more personable. So that's great, because when you're detoxing, you're going through like different shifts, like you're going through major shifts, and you need some help, like just reorganizing the way that maybe your schedule is going, the way that you're doing things, anything to help you keep on track. Sometimes we're like just really overthinking things and we just need to bounce it off of somebody. And instead of you just trying to come up with things on your own from a place of a lot of experience, I can easily just help you, guide you through what it is that you can do, help you tweak. Some people are cooking way too often throughout the week, and that is stressful. Some people are doing things in a more difficult order, and it's like, no, you can totally simplify that. So it's definitely worth it to just book that free call with me so we can go over what you're doing, and then I can make some suggestions to you. So go into my bio, link in my bio. The link is right there on Instagram, YouTube, if you click the description. But if you go to my Instagram bio, you can just scroll down to where it says book a call, once you click that link in my bio. Okay. So do we have any questions about the process? Anything that you might be going through with your health that you have questions about, specific things? I would tell you though, if it would be best if you just book that call. If you got questions for me about your health or something that you're going through, just book that free call. That'd be the best thing for you to do. Because trying to answer general questions on Instagram, like I'm having muscle spasms, what do I do? And I see a lot of times people are answering those questions, but I've witnessed some pretty harmful answers being given, from people just asking questions like that. So book the call so that I can ask you questions back and I can see what exactly is going on with you instead of me rattling off a whole bunch of herbs to you, not knowing exactly what it is that you're dealing with. Okay? Because that's important. That is very, very important. So I'm about to get out of here. I got about 15 minutes until the class starts. I'm going to see you guys in class in 15 minutes, guys. Link in bio, link in the description.